Good morning, each and every one of you. I pray that you had a restful night's sleep last night and are ready to embark upon a new day that we've never seen before, that is pregnant with possibilities. Our topic for today is giving yourself permission. Giving yourself permission. And what do I mean by that? For some of us who experienced trauma as a child, have gone through some things, we sometimes have to actively practice giving ourselves permission to feel. What we learned during our childhood was that feeling just made it, allowing ourselves to feel seemed too difficult. It was too hard. It was too painful. So we taught ourselves over the years to kind of suppress our feelings. For some of us, we felt like even if we said how we felt, no one would really care. And so we taught ourselves to suppress it, to be able to walk around with an atmosphere of, I'm good, I'm great, everything's fine. But that's not necessarily living in balance. It's also not very healthy. We have all kinds of feelings, and feelings are just feelings. We have feelings of sadness, we have feelings of happiness, we have feelings of joy, we have feelings of pain. Feelings go across the gamut. And what we sometimes do is label them as good or bad. But I want to suggest that if you give yourself permission to feel, the first thing that's going to be important is to not judge or label any particular feeling. It's simply a feeling. It's simply your body and your mind and your emotions identifying for you where you presently are. It's not good or bad. It just is what it is. So for me, what brought up this topic for me today, I woke up this morning with a text from my daughter, and she had included a screenshot from a good friend of hers, her business partner actually. Her business partner's here on the East Coast, my daughter's on the West Coast, and her business partner basically stated that she had had my daughter on her mind, and she'd had me on her mind as well, and since she's here in this area where I live, to let me know that if I needed anything from the grocery store, to just let her know and she'd be glad to serve me. Well, when I read that, it made my heart feel, it made me feel good. It made me feel good that someone was thinking about me, but it also introduced some feelings of sadness. Sadness that my daughter and one of my sons are so far away from me. As I said before, my other son who lives in the area, simply because of social distancing, I'm not able to see him either. But so I sat with two conflicting feelings. Frankie Beverly would say joy and pain, sunshine and rain. I was happy, but at the same token, I was a little bit sad. But I was very glad because I allowed myself to feel each feeling. So what I would invite you to do is to think about the feelings that we allow ourselves to express and the ones that we consciously choose or maybe unconsciously are suppressing. Now I'm going to say something that may be a bit controversial and you may not agree, but I sometimes believe, or I do believe, that sometimes our places of faith or whatever it is that, whatever doctrines we follow, sometimes contribute to that suppression of feelings. A lot of times, at least in some of our faiths, if something makes us sad, we quickly say, oh, but we should rejoice. Or if we find ourselves being angry, we're quickly told, oh, you shouldn't be angry. That's not the right way to live. But what I'm here to tell you and to assure you is that we are human beings. We are human beings. Having a feeling is not the issue. Having feelings and being able to identify them is a good thing. The challenge is, what will you do with those feelings? So using my example this morning, if I had allowed myself to stay stuck on either feeling, either stay stuck on being sad or stay stuck on being happy, that may not have been the best thing for me. What was the best for me was to allow myself to feel each feeling and then to move on. And moving on may not happen in minutes. It may take a couple of hours. It may take a couple of days. But to be conscious that whatever I'm feeling is not going to be with me always. We live a life where things change. For those who follow the Christian faith, we are moving into Holy Week. And today is Palm Sunday, and people are rejoicing. But as many of you know, before this week is over, the crowd would have turned. Their feelings would have completely turned to crucify him. For my Jewish brothers and sisters, we're moving into a time of Passover, and all types of feelings were arising for those Jews, for those Hebrews who in Egypt in captivity didn't know what was going to happen to them. So, and whatever your faith tradition may be, because I recognize there are other faith traditions, but the reality is I'm not that familiar with it. But I do not believe that there's any faith tradition that only focuses on the good. I do not believe there's any faith tradition that does not acknowledge that we live in a world where good things happen as well as bad. Again, where there's sunshine as well as rain. And guess what? We need both of them. So my question for you today is, what feeling do you need to give yourself permission to feel? What I've noticed is a lot of people on my posts always talk about very happy feelings. And I'm really happy for you all. But I challenge you to dig a little bit deeper. I challenge you to allow yourself to be a little bit more vulnerable and share with us when you do have a feeling that you may not be that comfortable with, and then tell us what you do with that feeling so that someone who may be reading your comment may be able to get helped in whatever position they find themselves in. I love you all so much, and what I am going to encourage you to do today also is to call someone, to reach out and have a conversation with someone, and just let them know how you're doing and check up on them. A lot of people are not privileged to be isolating with people around them. So reach out and let them know that you're still there and you still care about you. I love you all, and have a wonderful day on purpose.